So when I went on to watch that one where he was talking about the return of Saturn, and I thought, it'd be more like about alien stuff or something, and I don't even know what the guy was talking about. I only listened for about less than a minute and a half. As soon as I heard him start talking, I was like, oh my God, what in the hell? That is so, I swear to God, they're on overdrive to try and control people's minds, to try and make you believe you're less than what you are. And all of this stuff of labeling New Age as being like Luciferian and all that stuff is just to put you off. It's just to scare you. It's to keep you being small and simple and a slave. It's so you don't know your own power. And it's really annoying because, I've gone through all this stuff. I've gone through this whole thing of, practicing, not so much practicing. There's not like a practice to being spiritual. It's just being tuned into yourself. That's the problem with religion, is that people could go and say, oh yeah, I'm religious. I go to church every Sunday, but they have no relationship with themselves or with God, or even a true relationship with others. They just put that mask on that makes them seem like they're this good Christian person, but really underneath they're not, because they're not living their true spiritual path. So they're not really connected to themselves. So they think it's all just about words. It's not. It's practice. It's a way of living. It's a lifestyle. It's about taking care of yourself. It's about being in mind, body, spirit, being tuned into yourself and what you need and what's your path and how you look at things and your understanding of what you're putting out and how it comes back to you, and being more mindful. Like all of that stuff is part of the spiritual path. You begin to identify your place in the world, and this guy, so he starts saying about this return of Saturn, the return of Satan, the New Agers or the Luciferian, misguiding people. They're talking to the devil and all this stuff. And it was like, okay, if the devil has been the one who is leading me, then why did he lead me to heal instead of hang myself when I was in that place? Why, when I was going to put soap in my brother's water, why did they tell me, don't do that, you're going to get in trouble? Then when I got in trouble, why did they tell me, we told you, you're going to get in trouble? Listen, think about it. Don't do stuff you're going to get in trouble for. Why would they do that? I thought the devil wanted chaos. I thought the devil wanted us to be in trouble. I thought the devil wanted us to be upset and sad and be a failure. And so it doesn't make any sense. So these people don't even know. They're talking about something they don't know. They're not tuned in. They're not tuned into the spirit side. They're just talking nonsense from this whole concept of, the wrath of God. He actually said the wrath of God was going to come down on us, the New Agers. The wrath of God is going to come down, and we are all going to be, wiped off the planet because we are out here saying, get close to God, get close to God. It is so crazy because we say you have a piece of God inside of you. You are God. God is not separate from you. She's having a horrible day. I've given her all her medicine. Honey, I know. This is what the night has been like too. So you have that inside of you, and it's all part of, like, I don't know. There's so many things that I see and understand that is way beyond what people can even understand at this point. And, if we're at this point where we're still like thinking that there's this guy up in the heavens just standing up there with his, his cane or whatever it is he's going to beat us all with, and he hates us because we are trying to get people to focus on empowering themselves and knowing their own power, their self-evolution, to understand yourself and your connection, and that this almighty power is going to come down and, put us in our place. It's like, these people just want you to worship something. They want you to worship them. They want you to worship where they're directing you to worship. And they are all about the occult and stuff. And they do not want you to understand that you have any power inside of you. That has been their whole trickery, is to keep you less than what you are. And all of their manipulation with the words and labels and, they've used this village concept of this monster in the sky who's going to come down and, devour you if you don't do everything that they want you to do, even though you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing. And you're supposed to go to church and have them tell you. It's all so controlled and so manipulated. And, the New Age movement is not the fucking Luciferian. We're not devil worshippers. We're not out there, and the pentagram, this five-sided star is not, it is not, they've taken things and manipulated them. Just like the swastika it was a different sign before. They took it and then they turned it into something ugly. But it was all about, movement and infinity. And it was about like an Eastern kind of Buddhist or Hindu or something symbol before they took it and turned it into something different. But that's what they do. They take things and they turn them ugly. And that's what they've been doing on this planet for a long, long time. And it has given an opportunity for a lot of people, what's inside of them, to get that, purge out this ugliness so that they can see it. Because there's a lot of people who have done some really ugly shit. But once they see it, once their soul experiences it and experiences the aftermath, it has changed them, because you change. That's what it's all these situations and experiences are all about, is to create change. People act like change is something that's bad. Like, oh my God, that person just changes all the time. Like that's a bad thing? It's bad to change? It's bad to be growing all the time? To be trying to understand yourself? I think that's a good thing. I mean, I think it's a lot scarier if somebody has been the same their whole life and haven't changed at all. That is a scary thing. So, when they're sitting there trying to mislead people and say, don't listen to these people. If they're telling you that you are God, they're devil worshippers. They're the devil. They're devil. They don't even know the devil's working through them. It literally makes no sense. I mean, I'm sitting here telling people, I've been through it. I've gone through the worst things that most people haven't been through. And that the way I got through them was connecting to a higher power and healing my pain. And that is what has raised my vibration. That is what has put me on this whole track to healing and redeveloping myself. And it has been powerful. So I share that stuff. But I do have the background of knowing about spirituality and the metaphysical, supernatural. I have background in all that stuff. So I understand it. And I see how it all layers together, how it all comes together. And, not everybody can see that, and you're only going to see what your soul is. It's like, every soul is at a different level. And so some souls, are in first grade. So somebody in sixth grade is going to come and talk to them about what they're doing in class. And the first graders are just going to be like, what? What is that? Just like a sixth grader could be talking to somebody in high school, and the high schooler be telling them what they're doing, and they're just like, oh, what do you do with that? How's that work? They don't know because they haven't gone through it yet. They haven't experienced it. They haven't been enlightened. They haven't seen the new thing. They don't have it in their inner knowing yet, but it's inside of all of us. It just has to be turned on. That's, I think, what they talk about when, you're turning on more of your DNA all the time, because it is more of your inner knowing, more of your understanding of who and what you are. So I can go through all that stuff, and when I went through that stuff, that is what showed me what the path is. It's not that they told me and I didn't have to do anything, and these devils that are talking to me just tell me to go tell people stuff. No, I lived it. I'm talking about stuff I lived, stuff I did, and how it turned out. And when you do your healing, you do feel lighter, you do feel healthier, you don't get triggered by little things that people do. You start recognizing the stuff that we all have done to try and get people to like us and to fit in and all of those kinds of things. And we can see like it's just it's a manipulation. It's a dead end. It's not being your true authentic self. It's trying to get people to, it's you trying to fit in and get people to like you instead of going the other way and being, I'm going to be my true self. And then the people who like me will be my people. Instead, we're like, oh, this person wants this person wants that. Oh, I'll be a little bit of this, I'll be a little bit of that. It's like this dead end street where we're just constantly trying to be what everybody wants us to be. And it's a blessing when you get pushed into this, having to figure out who you are. You get pushed out of the thing. It feels like it's not a blessing. It feels like horrible when you get pushed out of the rat race or, you know, out of whatever the situation is. People are losing their houses. People are losing family members. People are, you know, we're in a time of great loss. And, you know, people are going through a lot. And, you know, it's very powerful to be able to understand your soul's path and your soul's journey and understand that death is not a permanent situation and that, you know, all of this stuff that they've been telling us is so misleading. I mean, when they're feeding us poison and giving us feeding times to make sure we get our poison, you know, on a regular basis, and our bodies are being destroyed. I mean, it's just logic, you know. I mean, I shouldn't be saying anything too mystical. I should be able to be just like pointing out what we all are seeing. Like, if you stop paying attention to this or that, or, you know, you tune into the present moment and what's really happening in life, it's fucking happening. You can see it all around you, you know? So, you know, and if people want to believe that, you know, people who are talking about empowering yourself and being your true self and that you have God inside of you, that you are God, what we conceptualize as God with all of the powers and stuff, you have all of that in you. You are that. You are made in God's image. You are God. God gave you a piece of him and it's inside of you. And that is your connection. And everybody's just caught up in this life of the avatar. They don't, you know, they just want to shut their spirit up, and, you know, they don't want to appreciate this God particle that's inside of them, you know, that they develop, that they get to. It's all about this connection and understanding more of who and what you are. So all I can say is that, you know, if you listen to that stuff and you believe it, then that's just the where you are in your development as a consciousness. You're still, you know, really dependent on the system. It's very scary to come out and be sovereign, to be like, hey, I'm powerful. I don't need to use this system. I need to be in touch with who and what I am. I need to be healed and healthy. I need to be independent. I need to be able to take care of myself and know my own needs. I don't need someone else telling me what I need. I need to know my needs. So, you know, and if people are still in that place of like being dependent, like, oh, I gotta turn on the TV. I mean, they've got people lining up for fucking 8 hours who are sick, who need a test to tell them. Like, if you're sick, we have been taking care of ourselves for years and years and years, way before all this bullshit started. So, you know, this is just part of the thing. Hey, depend on us, come on down to the hospital where they are just mass murdering. Come on in. They had a girl yesterday. My mom was really upset because her really close friends having their first grandchild. And of course they went to one of those places, the killing center, the gas chamber. And, you know, because a lot of people are going there because that is what they've told us where we need to go for our health. And so she's in there in labor, 2.5 days. Finally, yesterday, they set her up, said they were going to do a C-section because the baby's breech anyways. Like, they've known the baby's breech, but they're just making this lady go through this. And my mom's all upset. And, you know, do you think she's going to be okay? Do you think this is safe? What do you think's going on? It's like, you know, fuck. I would have probably got a fucking doula and had a baby in my house if I was pregnant. I wouldn't go to those fucking places. I've been through the experience of almost being killed in one. So yeah, fuck that. And it's I've said, most of the people who have got integrity have left those places. They don't work there anymore. They're shipping people in, who knows? They could have just been out to the corner and got some fucking homeless people, put a uniform on them and said, hey, guess what? You're a nurse now. Because these people don't seem that they know what's going on. They don't seem to have any clue, but that's the problem, is because those centers showed what was going on, and the people that had integrity, that they left them. They're not working there anymore. The people that are there know what's going on, or they're just so desperate for a paycheck and so fearful of what may happen to them that they, they're willing to surrender their integrity. They don't need ethics. They don't need scruples. They just need a paycheck. We've seen this play out over and over and over. Through my time of life, I've seen it play out in many, many ways over and over and over. And that's why I keep talking about it. Even when you see these old movies, it just shows like exactly the same shit we've been playing out. It's just right there. They direct us in our way of thinking. They show us what we need to see and how we need to see it. Instead of, when you see this stuff and you look at it from the soul's perspective, it gives it a whole new meaning. They want to show us and then teach us how they want us to act in situations. So it's all part of their programming and stuff in shows, but we've been playing out a lot of disgusting stuff. Yeah, we've been in a controlled thing by some really horrible monsters, and we got to just let that go, because so many humans had a lot of ugliness that they were playing out. And this is when you get to heal those things, This is your opportunity to heal, to expand, to evolve, to recognize the ugly parts of yourself so you can heal them and let them go. You don't just have ugly parts. You have experiences that went unresolved that created ugly, like the boogers of the experience. You just got to pick them and get them out, get rid of them. And then your experience doesn't have the same kind of weight on your soul. So you got to accept yourself that, in past lives you have murdered, you've done some bad stuff, and you carry trauma in your soul, and your experiences are always trying to highlight those places so that you can heal them. And so when these different situations that come up and you see them, don't get caught up in like, oh my God, I'm such a shitty person. I'm so shitty. Oh my God, I've done this, I've done that. Especially, you go in and you do a past life regression. If you go in and you just start reading others, if you're scared to go get one done, just go in and read about other people's, and then you'll start seeing you'll develop a bigger understanding. But, a lot of people go in and see themselves murdering people and doing really shitty things, like really horrible things. And, but you have to heal it. The funny thing is, too, is like, I had seen it, and it was a show, and it was, I talked about this earlier and way a long time ago, but it was, it's a show, and it has these people who do past life regressions, and then they go in and research all this stuff, and then the people come back and they go over it, the research, they track down who they were and stuff. It's so cool. And there with this one girl, she was really, kind of like my gypsy life. Hers was a circus life, and it was just fucking people over and, using, I think she also was using her looks to screw people over. And she was a really shitty person, and she was watching it, but she didn't have any feeling about it. She didn't feel like she was bad. She just was able to look at it like, oh, I was just going in, I was doing that. I was learning, like I can see myself, but she didn't have judgment on herself, and that's the thing. Like all of our judgment and stuff is coming from within us right here and right now. When you die and you go over and you see like, you did some shitty, like most people, they're caught up in these dramas that go from life to life to life. There are so many, if you go in and you start reading some of these past life things, you just see like, People come back and like, you killed me, I'll kill you. You killed me, I'll kill you. They just go back and forth, stuck in these spirals of not healing these issues that have constantly get them to kill each other. It happens over and over in people's lives. They just get stuck. So, the best thing to do is just to understand that, yeah, you are a shitty person too. We're all shitty people. We want to think that we're all spectacular and everybody should just do what we say. And then, that will prove to us that we are, so wonderful because everybody thinks the way we think. But that's not the way it is. The way it is you're wonderful when you can accept people for thinking differently than you. That's when you have, elevated into something better, is acceptance of other people's differences. People don't have to all be the same. They can be all different. You can accept that. You don't need other people to be like you to feel good about yourself. And then when you can go in and you can accept the fact that, yeah, you've done some shitty stuff and you have a shitty side to you, and you can heal those things that, you just go into it more. That's the cool thing with that QHHT too. If you get a good practitioner, that they are able to help you correlate your wounds in this life to the ones that are coming up so that you can heal them. And besides, when you go in and you talk to your higher self and stuff, things you just, it's like they're talking to you too. And you know it, you can hear it. Like you can definitely hear them talking. And that might help you if you're trying to understand how to channel or how to communicate or whatever. And one thing too, I swear to God, the more hair you have, whether it's thicker, curlier, longer, whatever, that's your antenna. That is your antenna that is picking up on the energy around you. And then it's you translating. It's your processor that's translating the information. And it's the ego that keeps people thinking like their brain is just coming up with thoughts. Your brain's just, you don't have to know something. Your brain's just creating. No, that's not how it works. You're not just creating thoughts. Thoughts are coming to you from outside of you. And like I've said about a million times, if you're in a low vibration place, you're probably not getting the best messages. You're probably feeling pretty shitty about yourself. But those messages are not coming from in you. They're coming from out of you. And you can tell them to shut the fuck up. You don't have to listen to messages that are negative towards you. You can tell them to get the fuck away from you. You do whatever. If you think you need to do ceremonies, you need to burn sage. You need to just tell them. You need to, surround yourself with angels or whatever. Everybody's got their own process. But you can shut it down. You don't have to listen to somebody in your head beating you down. And you can also override those thoughts by start telling yourself good things about yourself. Don't be misled by these people that they want to keep you, less than what you are. And in a place of unempowerment, move into a place of empowerment, into knowing your own self, into healing yourself, into developing yourself. And, I think it's just going to keep coming out. And if people are insecure and they really do believe like, oh, well, I was taught there's God and Jesus and the devil, and that's what we're dealing with, then... I don't really know. I'm sure there's people out there who are talking about that stuff, but as far as I understand, there is no savior coming. You've got the savior. You're looking at him, and every time you look in the mirror, you're looking at your savior. You don't need somebody else to come save you. This is all so you can see your own power, so you can see you are your savior. And it is that, makes you take responsibility for a lot in your life. It empowers you. You stop being a victim. You start understanding way more about how to create the life that you want. And we've all just been living these lives, trying to survive the lives that we were handed. But now it's moving into a time of creating the life that you want, understanding your own power, understanding how substantial and important you are to yourself. So this is a mighty blessing that is happening. And it's got a lot of confusion, a lot of lies, a lot of manipulation, so much gaslighting. And it's all to keep you less than what you are. And, it's a shame that we've got so much idiocracy out there, to keep directing us to stay simple, stay slaves, wait for that Almighty to come down, or you're going to get the wrath and all this stuff. If there's anybody who's coming down to claim us, it's going to be the Sumerians. And I've heard a lot that they're on their way. They're coming back to claim their experiment as their own. And that's what we are. You know, we started out as some sort of monkey apes with intelligence, and they took all the DNA from all these other beings and they put it in us, and they messed with it and stuff till they could get creatures that could listen and talk and, you know, communicate and be slaves. You know, they wanted slaves. They wanted us to go and do the work for them because it was a lot of hard work. And we were more equipped for this environment because we were natural to this environment. So we got made into the little slaves, and we were disgusting to them because we like to have sex. And we, you know, we want to have fun and have sex. And we grunted and groaned a lot. So they killed us, and then they did it again. I think they did it 3 times, like, to get to this part where they're like, okay. But still, I mean, they're killing us all the time. And they are, just like I said the other day, they are destroying our, the years of when people procreate or, you know, continue to, you know, the years where people have kids, like generally your 20s and 30s, right? That people are out having families and having kids and, you know, being sexually active. And that's the years that they really, really hit hard with war. I mean, they've done so much stuff right now to get people to be confused, you know, like, oh, you're probably not a guy, you're not a girl, you're, you know, getting people just all jacked up. Well, yeah, they can do that. They can fuck with your head because you are neither thing. You're not a boy or a girl. You know, a soul has no, you're a sex when you're born into an avatar. The avatar has the sexual identity. You don't have any sexual identity. So yeah, you can be manipulated and get real confused. And the more you really start understanding, oh, I'm in this body because I'm here to experience this body, what this, you know, female or male, whatever color you are, whatever, you're here to experience that scenario. So you can understand and grow from it. And the, you know, that is what they've done, you know, like right now, they've got so many people, they've got so many things just jacked up with people and families. They've got so much division in families, so many people split up. I mean, that's a whole big thing with their clinics, you know, why they're fighting so hard to get us to want to do those things when we have a baby in us that we don't want, when they really want us to go do that, because that is so much about their harvesting. I mean, they make so much money off of that. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. It is, oh my God. And especially in minority places where they don't give them proper, I mean, they're destroying the relationships. They're putting the men in jail. They're not giving the women good health care or preventative stuff, you know, because they want them to do that and go in and do that because they make money off of it. So much money. I mean, if you haven't looked into that, it is, it's disgusting. It'll just make you sick. Especially, I was one of those people who had been down there marching for Planned Parenthood. And then to know, like, oh, that's just a big business extension of these people. That's part of what the ingredients is in the latest one of these, is parts out of that. I mean, I've heard so many doctors talking about that, what's in the ingredients. Oh my God, it's disturbing. It's, you know, but I had heard Judy Mikovits talk about it in the very beginning when she was exposing the froggy. And she was saying the stuff that's in there, we don't want to be putting that into us. I mean, it's got like mouse piss and weird stuff. Like, oh my God, it's no wonder that we are just in such a state of sickness all the fucking time. Like, and we rush to them for the medicine. And really, it's all the stuff they're giving us is the problem. They are, oh, it's so, so, so sick. But, this is all, I don't know what his lights keep flashing. This is all so that we wake up. It's all so that we can start pulling free and being sovereign, and we can pull free from their disgusting, nasty system that is meant to just repress, oppress, and keep us sad and on drugs and everything else. So, if people want to stay there and, just keep waiting for their savior to come out of the sky and rush down and save them, and, he's got a lot of people he's got to save. So, I think he gave us all the ability to save ourselves. I think that is the hand of God. I think God has shown everybody, hey, I'm there with you. I'm in you. We're here. We're saving ourselves. We're doing this. But as long as you want to keep thinking you're less, that you have no value, that you need a savior, that you need to follow all these rules to get... The rules you need to follow are ingrained into your soul. Your soul will tell you. That's what has always thrown me, is like, mine's talking all friggin' loud. I didn't understand why other people were going and doing stuff that, my soul's telling me when I'm 3, don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to get in trouble. And you got people doing bad stuff all the time. Every time I've ever done something bad, they're there loudly telling me. So I don't know. All I can think of is that people have just quieted their soul, in order to try and survive. But this is the time to start listening to your soul and quiet the noise that they're providing, because they're providing you with lies and manipulation, and your soul's trying to direct you towards the truth. Your soul is ready to take over. Your soul's ready to take charge. That is the hand of God. That is God taking over in your life. So it's all in how you look at things, And but there is a big push. This is not stopping anytime soon. Apparently, this, I started talking about this months ago. These people coming out and saying that everyone who's New Age and saying that you have God inside of you and stuff, we're all the devil and the devil worshipers, and we're misleading people. So anyways, it's up to each person to decide that for themselves. I'm not trying to, like I've said before, those of us who can see through the illusion, we're just holding up a light on a path. We're just trying to give light for other people. I'm not trying to force anybody into believing what I say and, you do what I say. No, I say connect with yourself. Yourself will give you guidance. It will give you the guidance you need on the level that you're at and the path that you yourself designed. So, you don't need to listen to any other savior, and go around and start trying to build up your information palette so that you can understand, because like I've said, you'll find everything starts layering, everything has connection, and you'll find it when you start going out and really exploring, go into the places that you always thought sounded like wacky and crazy. Go into those places, explore them, go in and read about things that you thought didn't make any sense. And you'll start finding out, your soul's going to direct you. Your soul. And then you have an inner knowing. There's nobody's going to put you off from your inner knowing. If someone can put you off from your inner knowing, then you still have a lot of work to do on yourself. You still have to figure out how to believe in yourself and empower yourself and to love yourself over other people's thoughts and other people's... Because you got to remember, everybody's coming from a broken place. So why are we letting other people keep us in a broken place? It's all up to each of us to heal ourselves. And that is all part of the ascension. That's all what moves us into the new age. And the age of Aquarius is a spectacular time to be alive. And it's going to be great. And you're going to want to be in a healed place. You're going to want to be a participant. You're not going to want to be, a wounded person out there, trying to play the same games with people, and everybody else has moved on and is like, I don't got time for that shit. I'm doing other things. I'm not playing these games. We've developed so many games to try and keep people close to us. And, people aren't going to have time for it anymore. So if you haven't developed those sides of yourself and you haven't healed yourself, then you're going to be lonely, You're going to be alone. And that is... when you get alone, believe me, now that I've spent a few years of it, it is so that you can There is a reason why the monks and stuff go have this time alone, because you really do. You are faced with a lot of stuff when you're alone. A lot of people don't want to be alone because they don't want to be faced with those things. So they do everything they can to not be alone. And, that's why they did so much with the social media. So people never had to be alone. You don't ever have to be alone. You have somebody at the drop of your, as soon as you drop your eyeballs, they're right there all the time, 24 hours a day. You've got distraction. So you don't have to heal yourself. You don't have to work on yourself. Something feels bad, just look at something else. But that's a dead-end street. That's just a distraction, because there's no way forward without healing yourself. So I would advise anybody to not listen to these people saying, sit back, just wait for God to come. God's coming, just sit back and wait. I wouldn't do that. I haven't done that. I've never done that. And, but if you want to do that, that's your lesson. That's what you're here to learn. So, listen to yourself, listen to your own guidance. I would think go around and listen to a lot of different people talk about healing. Some people talk about healing out of a book, and some people like me talk about healing because we went through it and we actually experienced it, and we can tell you the process of how we got through it. And it's hard as fuck. But for me, I had a lot to heal. I mean, everybody's got different amounts. I had a lot to heal, and a lot of time, doing a lot of stuff that I had to heal. So, because I healed at an older age, to me, it seems a lot more fortunate if you're healing shit in your 20s and 30s and you got yourself on the right track, then, you're way ahead of the game. So it's a powerful place to be. And, I didn't even see it. I didn't understand it all until I was forced into it by getting a brain injury. And it was just a succession of events to keep me unstable for so long. So I had to keep healing. I had to keep going inside. I had to keep pulling in that resilience and that fighter spirit to get me through it. And that's what I talk about, because I believe that we all have a bunch of shit that we're about to have to heal. That's the only way to get into the age of Aquarius. It's like when they talk about it is a narrow opening. A rich man can't fit through the eye of a needle is a true statement, because you can't fit into you. This will not be a gateway that you can go through as an unhealed person. Just like in this reality bubble, why it is a contained bubble. So we can't put this toxicity out there. You can't take your toxicity, your unhealed, damaged self into that reality. You have to stay back in these kinds of realities to continue to play out the parts until you can heal, till you can face yourself, till you can release the pain and accept yourself and accept others, because that's the reality we're going into. And that's the only way to get into it. It's like a costume party. And if you're not wearing the right costume, you don't get in. So anyways, all I can say, again, is work on you. They're coming at us so hard with the lies and stuff, and just turn it off. Turn off the bullshit. Don't listen to them. They are lying. It's so nefarious how deep these lies go and how much they want to misdirect people. And it just confirms every day to me how much this is actually, they have been trying to kill us, and they are actively killing us right now. But they have been, it's how they keep their flock, and their flock is not only just their slaves, it's their experiments, but it's how they keep it under control. And they do hit hardest in the people who are at that age of having kids, because they don't want us to continue to procreate. I mean, even in China, they go so far as to say you're allowed one child. I mean, they got people out there killing their kids if they're born the one they didn't want. Like, there's a whole place where there's just a bunch of dead babies because they go out and kill. Most people want to have a boy because a boy in their culture has to grow up and take care of the parents. So most of them don't want a girl because the girl leaves home and goes and joins this other family. So they all want to have a boy because they need this person to take care of them when they get older. So there's a whole bunch of dead baby girls. And China. And that's probably one reason why you can adopt a lot of baby girls. So it's like they don't want them. And, you know, that's is people make choices. Even when they're forced into thinking they're making the choice, it's still a choice that you have to live with. Your soul has to live with the choice. It doesn't matter that the government said, you know, these are your choices, this is it. And you feel like, well, you know, what am I going to do? I mean, I got to have a son who's going to take care of me. I got to kill this baby girl. I can't have a girl. And I'm not allowed to have more than one. So, you know, they're going and doing stuff that's against the law of God. So, you know, there was a reason that they had a girl. There was a reason why they were going to go through that with the girl. It was going to be to teach them, you know, maybe teach them independence. I don't know. Everybody has their own life path. Everybody has their own life design. So you can't really go in and say exactly what somebody's lessons are. That's why it's so important for you to get in touch with yourself and to recognize the signs and see your path so that you can understand what you're there to heal, what things you're there to clean up and wrap up and understand about yourself. And, you know, those people who have done those things, you know, and then they go in and kill that baby so that they can have another one. I mean, who knows? Maybe they have another girl. Maybe they have to head down to the killing pond down there, you know, several times before they get their boy. Who knows? But each of those times is a soul lesson. You know, that is a soul imprint. Those are things that you have to deal with and look at and understand about yourself. So you may have to go back and understand, like, why would I do that? Because the government said that. Why would I make that choice? Like, I knew that was wrong, but I still did it. Why did I do that? Those are the things that we get to heal. Those are the things that we let go of. Those are the things we don't want to take with us. Because once we release it and let go of it and we have an awareness of it and we're mindful, then we don't repeat it. We're mindful of our action. We've seen, oh, I can do that. Oh, God, I don't want to be like that. So we take control of it. So this is all about empowerment. Everything going on is about empowerment. So, you know, I've talked a long time. And I know some people like it quick and easy. So, you know, but I think that this stuff is really important. And it is all of opening yourself up, expanding your mind, and stop having this narrow-minded, controlled, boxed-in thinking. You know, it's their box. You know, open your own box. That's what I say. So have a great day. Open your box and figure out who you are and develop yourself. Love yourself. Accept yourself. That's the biggest one. So have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.